this is a move. We started Orchid over 9 years ago, and we haven't been together in over a year. And so we're back. We are back. And when we very first started the church over 9 years ago, we had it upon our heart to gather the girls. And you ask why? Because we believe that there's no ceiling on any of our lives. We believe that God is not done with us, that He has a strategic plan and purpose for every single one of us. And our world is thirsty and hungry to see women who love each other, women who celebrate each other, women who believe the best in one another, women who are not competing with one another. And that is why this is such a safe place, because we are all in this together. And look around, women of all ages, women of all backgrounds. It is beautiful. It is such a beautiful sight. And we feel passionate about reminding God's daughters of their value, that God has a strategic plan and purpose for your life, that all that you know what that you've been through, He's going to turn it around for His glory and His goodness. And I know that it's been a minute since we've all been here together. And I know a lot has happened. I mean, 2020, just wow. Then some of 2020 spilt in to 2021. The new year came. We were ready for our fresh start. And then 2020 kind of creeped behind. Like that old song, So I Creep, yeah, dun, 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 dun. That's, look it up. But 2020 crept into 2021. But when I look back on 2020, I'm just glad I'm still standing. I'm glad I didn't quit. I'm glad you didn't quit. I mean, 2020, we learned how to do our own nails. 2020, we learned how to make things with just leftovers because the store was out of the ingredient that we needed. 2020, we learned how to make toilet paper stretch. 2020, okay, this is probably TMI, but it's okay, it's just the girls. I love two-ply. But some of y'all like that one-ply life, and I cannot get down with the one-ply. But 2020, I had to become best friends with one-ply because that was all that was available. But it's just not a pleasant situation, the one-ply. But I made it. I learned new recipes. I found random things on Instagram and YouTube just to make the time go by during those times when we were all on lockdown. I became innovative. I got a little more creative. What about y'all? Some of y'all got your fitness on. I mean, you said, I'm taking advantage of this lockdown. I'm going to get sculpted, Kelly Zoo. Okay, let me just tell y'all, Kelly Zoo, I love you. She's amazing. Woman of God, wife, mom, boss, influencer leader. We both have this bike. Earl got me this bike called a Peloton a couple years ago. I don't use it as often as I should, but 2021, I'm going to get it back together. But so Kelly Zoo also has the same bike. And so she'll post just to kind of like remind us all that we can do it and to encourage us. And she'll get on that bike. I saw today, you did an 1.5 hour workout. 1.5 hours. She burned over 1,000 calories. Okay, I'm about to tell on myself, y'all don't judge me. Don't judge me. When I ride the bike, I burn 150 calories. So that just tells you that, but hey, I got on. At least I got on the bike. Baby steps. But I'm still trying. But some of y'all, you just got that fitness on. Others of you embraced your curves a little more. Others of you got creative with your hair. So before we show the pictures, don't show the pictures. Okay. I have one of my really good friends is my hairdresser, and she's amazing. She actually comes to my house, which is such a gift. And I'm a busy mom, and life is wild. And so she just blesses me and comes to my house, and I support her business. I pay her, of course. I'm not that person. You know those people that just want all kinds of favors for free all the time? That's not me. But all that to say, we were close. You know, our world was closed for a minute. And I don't know if you know about African American hair, but it requires attention. My mom used to press and curl my hair. And you wonder what pressing is. So pressing is, there's this comb. You get it hot. You put it on a stove. It's like a curling iron, but it's a comb. And you can use it to straighten your hair. So growing up, my mom just always took good care of my hair. But during the pandemic, it was just me and Earl. So I dye my roots. You know, I just do. But I couldn't call my girl to come over because everything was shut down. So who did I tag in? My amazing husband, Earl. So during the pandemic, I'm about to show you the picture in just a second. But y'all, it was struggle bus. I'm thankful that he tried. I'm so thankful. But what usually takes an hour and a half took 6 hours. It was traumatic for me. It was my low point, one of my many low points of 2020, because it just hit me. You know how sometimes you're going through life and something that's very normal, you take it a little more personally, and you just feel like one more thing is just knocking me down. This process is supposed to take an hour and a half. It's taking 6 hours. And literally, my mom-in-law, who's amazing, jumped in because it was literally a struggle bus. And she has a really rough hand. So we're washing my hair in the sink. I'm not kidding. How many of y'all did your hair at home? And we have a metal sink, and she's banging my head back and forth on the metal sink. It was very painful. My neck was sore after. By the end, when we were trying to blow dry my hair straight, my neck was just stiff. No one could see it because my hair, okay, I'm going to let y'all see the picture. Do not take pictures of this picture. I'm trusting y'all with a photo of myself getting my roots done and us trying to get my hair together at a very low point. Okay, we can show the picture. Show the picture. That's what happened. That is what happened when we tried to take matters into our own hand. That right there in a nutshell is 2020. That's 2020. Okay, we can take the picture down. But I made it. You made it. You're still standing. God brought you through. He showed up on your behalf. He fought battles that you didn't know he was even fighting for you. When you thought you needed to give up, when you thought you couldn't take it anymore, he got in the ring with you. He reminded you of your value and your worth. You didn't stay and just say, you know what, this thing's gonna take me out. It woke up something on the inside of you. It woke up innovation. Some of you prayed for sick loved ones and saw them come back to health. Some of us buried loved ones. Some of us got new jobs. Some of us bought houses. Some of us had babies. Some of us lost our jobs. Some of us had to lean on friends for resources because we didn't have any resources. Some of us didn't have fear, didn't have anxiety before the pandemic. Then the pandemic came, just kind of shook us and gave us traumatic issues because of what we went through. It literally was no joke for all of us. And some of us are done where we're like, you know what? This past year, it's not going to define me. I'm marching on. God's got before me. And then other of us, we still have a little shell shock. But no matter where you find yourself, if you're in a season of celebration, if you're in a season of, I barely made it here, I barely jumped on YouTube Live, whatever state you find yourself in, I just need you to know that God is in your midst. I need you to know that he is with you, that he is for you, and we've been praying for you. Our team has been praying for breakthroughs and miracles to happen tonight. Our team has been praying for our minds to be renewed. Our team has been praying that old things would become new again. Our team has been praying that the songs that we sing over you would wash over you and that you would leave here transformed, that you'd leave here encouraged, that you would leave here energized. We are the remnant, ladies. We are the remnant. But God is going to multiply this army because he has plans and purposes for his daughters all over the world. We have Spanish-speaking sisters that are watching online. Hola, ¿cómo se llama? Rojo. I have this, what I call Spanish that just rolls out of me, but I'm not a Spanish speaker, but I know Spanish words. And so just escuela, it just comes out. La tienda, that's a store. A, B, C, D. Y'all know my Spanish. I also heard that we have sisters watching from Amsterdam, which is amazing. Tomorrow, we're going to have girls watching from Brazil. And I believe that God is calling the daughters together for such a time as this because our world needs some help. And he is tapping us. He tapped Mary, and tonight, he's tapping each and every one of us. We're going to jump in some scripture. We're going to talk and learn through Nehemiah. Nehemiah was going through a season where he saw lots of destruction. And just like us, we've been going through a season where we've been seeing destruction in marriages, destruction in our thought life, destruction in health, destruction in unity. We've just been surrounded by destruction. But we can find ourselves in Nehemiah, and we can see how he handled one thing after another thing after another thing. You ever feel like it's like one thing, then there's a snowstorm? For those of you in Texas and the surrounding areas, then there's no power. Then some of our sisters were boiling snow for water. It was real. Some of us were having to get warm with firewood just after coming off the pandemic. You know, just one thing after another. That's what Nehemiah was going through. One thing after another. Chapter 1, he was looking around at the state of his world. He was seeing the destruction, and he just started crying. He was crying. You ever just look around sometimes? You're just either you're actually crying because your heart is aching, or you're just trying to cry. You ever try to force cry? I'm not that much of a crier, but I'll cry. You know, my kids will make me cry when they do cute things. Certain movies will make me cry, but I'm not that big of a crier. But sometimes I want to cry, and it just doesn't come out. So I'm like, ooh, cry, 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 cry. And it just is stuck in there. But then other times, just a couple tears will come down. We all cry differently. Some of us ugly cry. You know, just the cry that just the snot is everywhere, the mascara is everywhere. It's like loud, and your shoulders move. That's what Nehemiah was faced with when he saw the destruction. It was the ugly cry. And he decided, you know what? I'm going to build even in the midst of destruction. Say, I'm going to build. And tonight, God is equipping us to remind us that we have to build. We have to build our families. We have to build our friends at school. We have to build our businesses. We have to build up each other. We're not competing with one another. We're celebrating each other. If someone has something that we don't have, we are not going to be jealous. We are going to say, look at that. Look at God in your life. Look at you. Look at you with those calves. Hannah Scott, our White Walk campus pastor, she has some calves. Like, just boom, 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 boom. And when I see her calves, I don't get down on myself like, man, why don't I have those calves? I do stare at them because they're really beautiful. They're like sculptured. But I celebrate her calves. We celebrate one another. If someone gets a promotion, we gas them up like, you go, you do that. If someone gets a boyfriend before we get a boyfriend, we celebrate that. Y'all are quiet on me. If somebody gets married and you're believing God to be married, let's be the girls that say, I'm going to throw your bridal shower. If someone has a baby while we're still trying to have a baby, let's be the girl that says, you know what? I'm going to be your midwife in the spirit. I'm going to be pacing the floors, praying for your pregnancy, praying for your delivery, praying that God would equip you to be the mom that you have called to be. If you have a friend in school who is always, you know those friends that don't even have to study? They just, no all-nighters. I had to pull all-nighters all through school. But those friends of mine that they literally did not even have to study, they just showed up and just crushed it. Instead of being jealous and instead of beating ourselves up like, why don't I get grades like that person? Let's celebrate them and encourage them and let them run their race and you run your race. I feel like we'd be freed up as girls if we just kept celebrating one another. So tonight, when you go out to the photo wall and you take photos, be each other's cheer squad. Tell them, say, work that pose. Do that selfie. Do it. It's so fun. I've told you all this before, but I'm not good with the poses, but I'm trying to go to pose school. I'm going to enroll because y'all do those things where you're like, And then you put your head back like this. And then sometimes you go like this. I think my pants just came unbuttoned. But watching y'all with your phones and the filters and all the things, I want to get better at that in 2021. I want to glow up in 2021. Okay, back to Nehemiah. He was crying. There was destruction, the walls. Nehemiah, here we go, chapter 6. There was opposition. People were bullying him. You ever feel opposition when you're just trying to build something? You're just trying to do the best that you can, but just opposition is coming. That's what happened with Nehemiah. Go with me to chapter 6. Sanballat, Tobiah, Geshem, the Arab, and the rest of our enemies found out that had finished rebuilding the wall and that no gaps remained. Though we had not yet set up doors in the gate, so Sanballat and Geshem sent a message asking me to meet them at one of the villages in the plain of, everybody say, oh no. Anytime someone asks you to meet them in oh no, you know not to go. Anytime somebody's sliding in your DMs at 2 a.m, just tell yourself, oh no. Anytime you're on a break, but they still keep blowing you up, you say, oh no. Anytime you're tempted to not say something positive to what someone's posting on Instagram, just tell yourself, I'm not meeting in oh no. But I realized that they were plotting to harm me. This is Nehemiah. They asked him to meet in oh no. So I replied. And all through chapter 6, what I love so much is he always had a reply. He always had a comeback. He didn't just keep taking the hits, taking the bullying. He always had a reply. So I replied, and I want us to learn from him because opposition comes, it's coming, we're in it, but we have to know how to position ourselves and posture ourselves so that when it comes, it doesn't take us out. So listen to this. This is so powerful. But I realized they were plotting to harm me. I was like, I got y'all figured out. So I replied by sending them this message. Here we go. This is what you do when distraction in any form is coming at you. Listen to this. So I replied by sending this message. I am engaged in a great work, so I can't come. Come on, find yourself here. Why should I stop working to come and meet with you? Whatever is trying to distract you, depression, darkness, old relationships, old patterns, whenever it says meet me in oh no, whenever it tries to take you on a rabbit trail, guess what? We got a reply. You ready for your reply? Write this down, text it to yourself. Listen to this. This is what you're going to do when it comes at you. I am engaged in a great work, so I cannot come. Why should I stop working to come meet with you? Why should I stop earning the income that you have called me to do on this job that you have set aside for me? Why should I stop even though my boss is getting on my nerves? Why? Why should I end this marriage when I'm surrounded by other godly couples and if I just need to raise my hand and say I need help? Why? Ask yourself when that stuff comes to hit you, tell yourself, I'm not meeting you there. I'm not going down that road. When that person that's just negative, putting negativity on your feed, just block them and say, I'm not coming. I'm doing a great work. God has a plan and purpose for my life. He has called me. I am set apart. He's not done with me. I'm doing a great work. I'm crushing it at school. I'm doing a great work. I don't need these distractions. Or I have my single girls on my heart tonight. Or your ex just keeps just asking you to come to the plane of oh no. And you just say, I can't come. I'm a part of a great work. I came to this church called Shoreline City, or I logged on online, and I'm not going to go to oh no with you anymore. First of all, we're not even married, so you don't even get any of this oh no. Verse 4. Here we go. 4 times they sent the same message. 4 times the attacks tried to come. 4 times the discouragement tried to come. 4 times life just came swinging for you. 4 times, not 1 time, not 2 times, not 3 times, 4 times. Get ready. They sent the same message, and each time I gave them the same reply. That means that it's repetitive. That means that after one time you're strong, you got to be strong a second time. You got to be strong a third time. You got to be strong a fourth time. And guess what? Other girls are watching you, and they need to see that you didn't quit. They need to see that, yes, life came against you. They need to see that, yes, there was opposition, but you're still standing firm. You're still worshiping. You're still trusting. You're still praising God. Even when you're not able to be in a building, you're still praising God at home. You're blasting this night tonight in your house, believing God that something is going to penetrate your heart. Something's going to penetrate your family's heart. You are still standing. Verse 5. The fifth time, Sanballat's servant came with an open letter. So they were just coming for him. Thing after thing after thing. He's just trying to build. He's just trying to do the right thing, and opposition keeps coming. Wow. They came, this time an open letter. This time just something long. You know, some of us like those long posts on Instagram or Facebook, or just keep you just going. They came to him with something really long. Verse 6, and this is what it said. They were trying to stir something up. They're trying to distract him. There's a rumor. Usually when there's a rumor, it's one person. There's a rumor among the surrounding nations, and the Geshem tells me it's true. So they're trying to distract Nehemiah. They're trying to tell him that there's rumors about him, that you and the Jews are planning to rebel, and that's why you're building this wall. According to his reports, do air quotes, reports, your plan to be their king. He also reports that you've appointed prophets in Jerusalem to proclaim about you. Look, there's a king in Judah. Basically, they were saying to him, this is all about you. You're trying to take all the credit. This is all about you, and everyone's figured you out. But Nehemiah realized that this was yet again a distraction. People, to use an old school word, haters. Haters gonna hate. I brought it back. That's what was happening. All this opposition coming against him, and he was just trying to do the right thing. But listen to this. You can be very sure this report will get back to the king. This is them talking to him. So I suggest that you come and talk it over with me. So once again, they're trying to distract him, trying to get him to pull over on the side of the road, trying to get him off of the plan. So many things are trying to get you off of the plan and purposes that God has for you. They come in the form of thoughts. They come in the form of unhealthy relationships. They come in the form of things that you see on Instagram that make you think, you know what? I can't do it like them. I might as well just give up. Nehemiah was getting report after report, or in our context, scroll after scroll after scroll, and each time it was sent to distract him from his great work. But listen, verse 8, he had a reply, y'all. We got to have a reply. I feel like too many times we have just sit back, let the enemy just come swing at us instead of using the voice that God has given us. And we are praying that by the Spirit of God tonight that you get your voice back, that you start replying, that you start standing up instead of taking it because you don't deserve it. You don't deserve these attacks. You don't deserve to be treated this way. I want you to get your fight back, and I want you to reply. This is so good. Verse 8. I replied, here we go. Y'all, just think if we do this. There is no truth in any part of your story. You are making up this whole thing. I replied again, verse 9. They're just trying to intimidate us, imagining that they could discourage us and stop the work. So I continued the work even with greater determination. So when stuff tries to come at you, I challenge you to say, you know what? I'm going to have even greater determination. I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to let the tire marks at 2020 left all over my shoes take me out. I'm going to keep standing. I'm going to keep praying. I'm going to keep believing the best. I'm going to keep showing up, and I'm going to trust God. I may have a little, I may have a lot, but no matter what, it is staying in God's hands. I feel like I'm looking at promises in this audience and at home. I feel like I'm looking at solutions in this audience and at home. I feel like I'm looking at answers in this audience and at home. I feel like I'm looking for what our world is gaining and groaning for. Our world is wanting to see a company of women gathered together at home and online all over the world who get their fight back. The enemy is trying to come at you 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. But we're praying that tonight you're getting your reply. Tonight you're getting your stand back. Tonight you're getting your fight back. And you're not going to just stay down in the dumps and say, nobody loves me. Why God, me? You're going to get your fight back. And just like Nehemiah, he was trying to rebuild. He had a reply. Tonight God is giving you a reply. Then, verse 10, he had some deceptive friends. Later, he went to go visit some of his friends. And his friend said, hey, let's meet together inside the temple of God. I'm whispering. Like, I just think deceptive friends would whisper, so I'm whispering. Let us meet together inside the temple of God and bolt the doors shut. Your enemies are coming to kill you tonight. Verse 11, but I what? I replied. Say I replied. Listen to this. Listen to his stank. Listen to his attitude. Listen to his confidence. Listen to his assurance. Should someone in my position run from danger? Should someone in my position enter the temple to save his life? No, I won't do it. Verse 12, I realized that God had not spoken to him, but that he had uttered this prophecy against me because Tobiah and Sanballat had hired him. Verse 13, they were hoping to intimidate me. The enemy, girls, is trying to intimidate you, trying to get you to give up, trying to get you to stop fighting. But we see in here, he says they were hoping to intimidate me and make me sin. Then they would be able to accuse and discredit me. The enemy's trying to discredit you, distract you. But as we see in the life of Nehemiah, he always had a comeback. He got his fight back. He didn't stay down. He got up and he replied back with the truth. It's the truth that sets us free. Verse 15. Here we go. So on October 2nd, the wall was finished. Everybody say the wall was finished. Just 52 days after we begun. When our enemies and the surrounding nations heard about it, they were frightened and humiliated. They realized this work had been done with the help of God. So their enemies saw that the wall, number 1, happened. Number 2, that they saw that it was by the hand of God. And I need y'all to see that whatever's coming against you, whatever's trying to distract you, whatever's trying to take you out, God tonight is saying, keep building. Don't give up. Yes, it's been painful. Yes, it's been difficult. Yes, it's been hard. But I need you to get your fight back. I need you to not quit. There's other women that need to hear your story, that need to be encouraged with hope. Nehemiah kept building. I need us to keep building. We felt so strategic about this gathering tonight. I feel like y'all represent the future of the Big C Church. And I feel like God gathered us in person and online because he wants to save the Big C Church. 2020 tried to get people out of church, out of the boat, out of community, and this night is a life preserver. We are all jumping on and saying, God, you're with me. You will not forsake me. I'm still standing. I'm seeing other girls that are still standing. And for those of you at home, you have an army of girls here in Dallas, Texas, who are saying, you are still standing. You did not quit. I was reminded of a story. It's a story about a hymn that many of us have heard before. It's called It Is Well. And some of us know this story, but I was listening to that song today, and I was thinking about, because I have a juxtaposition that I'm living in. I want to honor and recognize all the hurt and the pain and just the crap that we've all had to deal with. But then I have something else that's on the inside of me that feels called to wake up the Spirit of God on the inside of his daughters. And I want us to get to a place that no matter what comes our way, we're able to say, it is well with my soul. The person who wrote this song, I was studying about him today just for a refresher, but it was a Christian family, and there was a fire in Chicago. They lost everything. And during that time, they also lost their 4-year-old son. And so it was just thing after thing after thing. They were Christians, and so this husband said, you know what? I'm going to send my wife across the sea with my 4 daughters because we're going to go be a part of a crusade. So they're just trying to do the right thing. So keep this in mind. First of all, lost their businesses in the fire. Some of us lost businesses in the pandemic, lost their son at 4 years old. I have a 5-year-old daughter. I cannot imagine life without her. So they already had great loss, but they kept going. So many of us have great loss, but tonight God is saying, I need you to keep going. I need you to keep going. I need you to keep showing up. I need you to keep getting online. I need you to keep being in the room. So he sent his wife and his 4 daughters ahead of him to go help a crusade. While they were on the boat, his wife and his daughters, the boat hit another boat, and the boat actually crashed and sunk, and the 4 little girls passed away. His wife, I was putting myself in her shoes, imagining being on that boat, imagining seeing the crash, imagining watching my daughters drown. Many of us have seen friends drown in this season. We've seen dreams drown in this season. And she had to stay on the boat for 9 more days before she could get a telegram out to her husband to tell him what happened. Word reaches back to her husband through telegram, and she just says, saved alone. He gets on a boat to head that way to go see her. While he's on the boat, I'm sure he's crying. I'm sure he's saying, why? God was sending them to a crusade. Why could this happen? I'm sending them to go do your work. He gets on the boat. The ship's captain calls him to the front of the boat and says, I need you to see the wreckage. I need you to see the wreckage. This is where your daughters passed away. I need you to see the wreckage. And I feel like God is saying tonight, you've seen a lot of wreckage, girls. You've seen a lot of hurt. You've seen a lot of pain. You've suffered a lot of loss. And when he saw the wreckage where his daughters went down, that is when he penned the words to the song, It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. Even though he was in the midst of darkness, even though he was in the midst of great pain, he had this certain security knowing that, yes, I'm hurting, but it is still well with my soul. God gave him that as an anthem to comfort him in his darkest hour. And I believe that tonight that God is giving us that anthem of that song, It is well with my soul, because God needs for us to get back up. But before we get back up, we got to pass the wreckage. We got to pass the wreckage of 2020, and we have to get to the place where we can say, it is well with my soul. 2020 didn't take me out. The job loss didn't take me out. The breakup didn't take me out. The depression didn't take me out. The constant barrage of the dark